Alright, so this probably isn't the most ideal setup or way of going about this, but it's what we got. Hey, I'm Brian, and today I'm going to talk about being an equipment manager for a Division One college football program. I'm an equipment manager for Bowling Green, and I'll give you a little background of like what an equipment manager is, what we do, and then try to give a little rundown of like a day in the life for practice and for game days. So chances are you're probably wondering what an equipment manager is. So we'll start there. Wikipedia defines an equipment manager as a person who is in charge of a sports team equipment. So basically, we're just in charge of like everything that the players and coaches use for practices and games. So we're in charge of like uniforms, helmets, cleats, gloves, any other accessory that they want, undershirts, shorts. For coaches, it's like polos, jackets, sweatshirts, khakis, shoes, whatever they're gonna need. Um, for the game itself, we're the ones that provide the footballs, the pylons. We're in charge of like the field goal nets, stuff like that. Um, Anything that like the players, coaches, or officials are gonna need, we're in charge of it. For the game itself, oh shoot, sorry. According to Sports Illustrated, equipment managers are the backbone of a college football program, are an invaluable resource to a head coach and the people who have some of the most important, most essential jobs for keeping a team running smoothly. Um, Basically, without equipment managers, the game of football wouldn't even be like remotely close to the same as what it is, because you can't play football without a football itself, the pads, the helmets, the jerseys, the cleats, the gloves, um, basically anything. The only thing we really aren't in charge of is like the field itself, because it's turf, so nobody really takes care of it. But when it comes to day in the life, practices are mostly the same. Practice starts at like 8:45, 9 o'clock in the morning, and then we get there at like 7:15, 7 o'clock. Just kind of depends on what we need to do that day. We get there so early just so we can like set up for practice, and get everything like squared away that we need to. Um, we get these little things called scripts, which are basically exactly like movie scripts. It just tells us like what each coach is wanting to run, like drill wise, what all equipment they're going to need for that and all that stuff. Um, Once we get all that set up, we just like go about practice. Each of us is assigned to a different position coach. I'm personally assigned to Coach Morrison, our linebackers coach, and my job is just to make sure he keeps himself on track and gets the drills done that he wants to get done, and just make sure he has the right equipment. So he usually uses like a medicine ball, some agiles, some cones, hand shields, stuff like that. Um, After practice, we really just kind of clean up the field, get all the stuff back into our equipment shed, which is just where we store everything. Um, Focus on laundry. Yeah, we do laundry. So just get all the players' stuff. They have these little loops, which are basically just like a strip of material that like buckles together and makes a loop. And they just throw on like anything they wore from practice that day. Just throw that on there. We wash our towels, all the coaches' stuff, all the coaches' towels. While we're waiting for all that to wash and dry, we do like our weekly stuff that we need to do for games. So get uniforms squared away, make sure we have everybody's, do the helmets, clean them, decal them, polish them, set up all the trunks and stuff that we need for the sidelines, get the coach com ready, which is just like the communication system that the coaches have between each other on the sidelines and up into the press box. And then that's just kind of like the daily process for the week. And then we usually have Saturday games, so on Friday, for road games we'll load up a truck and then drive off to our road games, and do all that. And then on game day itself, we are just in charge of like, some of us are ball boys, some of us do field goal nets, some of us do whiteboards on the sidelines, personnel cards, stuff like that. it's super cool. Like, obviously being on the sidelines, getting to talk with the players and coaches, um, just getting to know everybody, getting to be a part of a Division I football program is super sweet. It's super labor intensive. Like I said, we're there every single day, um, so it's a big time commitment, but it has a lot of perks. So we get to travel, we get to stay in hotels for free, we get to be on the sidelines, we get to make like connections with the players, the coaches, and just like kind of get a once in a lifetime experience because it's Division I football, and if you're into that kind of stuff, it doesn't get any better. So yeah, that's about all I have. Like I said, setup's probably not ideal, but work with what you got. So thanks.